Welcome, dear friends, to Cardiac Radio at 11 p.m., nourishing our souls with the laws of love, a book that was psychographed by two mediums, Waldo, Vieira and Chico Xavier, in the city of Uberaba, state of Minas Gerais in Brazil, in 1962, published in 1963. And it comes to you and I firsthand in English at Cardiac Radio today. And this book, why is this book so important? You and I are under the laws of God, which are laws of love. And Emmanuel says in the preface that this book, which contains 8 chapters, questions and answers, is a booklet, educational booklet, with 8 themes that pertain to the understanding of suffering in the light of Spiritism. The objective of the book is to solidify our patience, consolation, hope, and inner transformation under the understanding of reincarnation. Emmanuel summarizes in that statement exactly why we're here. Is that what you're looking for? Is this what you are looking for here now at Cardiac Radio? Whether you're watching now or later on demand, listening to it now or later, no matter if it's still this year or another year, these are immortal truths. They are talking about the laws of life and why we go through challenging times, sufferings. Reincarnation inevitably explains much, but Spiritism is not only about explanations, it's about consolation, it's about support, emotional, spiritual support, boosting hope in us, and our courage to the deeper transformation in us. It is vital. Today, we're going to continue our study on the first chapter, causes, spiritual causes of illnesses. The first question we talked about is about the spiritual structure of the physical body that relies on its molding the very spirit. Now, the second question today is about our predisposition to illnesses. But the question is quite interesting. They asked to Emmanuel, is the mistake of a previous incarnation included in this present incarnation as a predisposition to illnesses in the physical body? And if so, how does it happen? And the answer. But before the answer, let us think about this. People talk about karma, right? Oh, yeah, this is karma, that is karma. Do you think that all sorts of pains and sorrows are karma? Mm-mm-mm. No, not at all. So let us go to our diagram. Yes, if you open, I'm going to open here the whiteboard. So we together can think about something that our dear Andrea Lewis, in a book that is a must for all of us, the book Action and Reaction. He says that there are 3 types of pain. 3 types of pain or suffering. Okay. First one. First meaning, one of them. Evolution pain. What is evolution pain? It is something that is helping us evolve. It's like when you go to the gym, you work your muscles, and you feel sore the next day. There are things that are difficult, challenging in our lives. because we're learning for first time. When your child comes to you and say, I don't know this, the teacher taught, I don't like this. It's not that you don't like. Give yourself time. Don't reject. Don't resist the learning. Expose yourself to that learning again. But I don't like division. Okay, let's look at it once. It must be fun because there are people who think it is fun. Let us go back. So sometimes we feel the challenge not because it's karma, but because we're learning the new. It's so new that it's hard. The muscle is still very, needs a lot of work. Good to know that the rule is you expose yourself to the new once, twice, effort, repetition, effort, repetition, then no pain any longer. Also, we're going to find what we call aiding pain. What is aiding pain? It's the challenging, suffering, anguish, some form of difficulty that comes along our way to prevent us from incurring in wrong pathways. So let us say that we were planning to kill somebody, God forbid. The good spirits will find a way for somebody to have a heart attack, so we change our minds. That happens. Go read the book Action and Reaction, and you're going to see cases of this when we have the merit to suffer from certain pain to avoid another. I remember somebody whom I know who was in her 20s and was being invited to become a politician. She wanted so, but the day she had a meeting with the party into which she was going to be engaged, she woke up with a strange case of pneumonia. She couldn't go. What was the message? That's not your pathway. She understood it because she was a spiritist. She didn't go on. Aiding pain. Sometimes people don't understand that the pandemic is a combination of all these three types of pain. There are moments in which we're going to undergo difficulties, challenges, even illnesses during this pandemic because it's helping us evolve in certain ways, like harmonizing the family, or aiding pain, making us avoid a bigger mistake, making decisions that are not appropriate. Or the third one, the famous karma in Spiritism we call expiation. Expiation pain, the famous karma, right? What is this? It's it's the pain from inside out, as Mentor Druzo explains to André Luiz in the book Action and Reaction, preventing us from going blind to the sufferings of others. Now we feel in our own skin a tenth or a millionth of what we have caused onto others. We're talking about these three types of pain to go back to the question that was proposed to Emmanuel. Is the mistake of a previous incarnation included in this present one as a predisposition to illness? And how does it happen? What is the answer? Of course, always very objective. He answers. The great majority of illnesses has their cause in the its profound cause in the semi-material structure of the paraspiritual body. Since the spirit made a mistake in this or that area of their evolution, it creates imbalances, dystonias in the spiritual body, predisposing us to the installation of certain illnesses according to the organ that was injured. And now we scratch our heads and think, can we go back again? Yeah, so he's going to repeat that the illnesses that show up in the physical body, they are expungements from the perispirit. So it's a blessing. No, we don't want to get sick, but it's a blessing. But he's telling us that everything begins, our illnesses begin in our mistakes. And that's why many people think that when we get sick, we're being punished. But that's not the case. That's not what Andre Luis is saying. He's not telling us that we are being punished. No, on the contrary, he's telling us something that I'll show to you in some slides that I have from the book Evolution into Worlds. If you've watched it, it's an opportunity to watch it again. If you haven't, it's an opportunity to see it firsthand. Emmanuel is saying something in 1962 that he knows was already explained in a book in 58, it's Thought and Life, by his authorship. And now, of course, through Andre Luis on the same year, 1958. So let me share with you the screen. We're going to talk about morbid predispositions. Same question. Andre Luis explains to us that any morbid predisposition begins. Morbid predisposition, by the way, is the susceptibility to illnesses, right? So, same question was asked 4 years before Emmanuel wrote the book Laws of Love, talking about predispositions or to illnesses. So he says that our imprudence and laziness cause a diversity of diseases. Of course, excesses, right? We're like, oh, I want to eat 10 times a day. I feel hungry, I'm going to eat. I'm going to eat things that we know are not good. And we don't exercise, laziness. Yeah. People say, but I don't like to exercise, but it's a must. We have to exercise. Do you exercise? The physical body is like a dog. You need to walk the dog. Your physical body needs exercise. We need exercise. It's inevitable. There is no escape. Or science says there is no health. A sedentary life. What is a sedentary life? A life that has no regular physical activity. We need regular, consistent. Every day, 30 minutes a day, just walk. Oh, but Vanessa, I don't want to go to the gym. Don't need to go. Can walk at home. Go to YouTube, and there is the program by Leslie Stanson, Walk at Home. She's adorable. Just follow her. Walk and walk and walk. I've done the program. I love it. Walking the dog is physical activity. Cleaning the house. We don't want to clean, right? We say, oh, but why am I going to clean? But remember, be honored because you can. There are people who can't. We're in the hospitals who are disabled. They would love to jump, to dance while they're then dusting and mopping. But you know, deep inside, we still carry that pride. The pride we used to feel when we in the past had slaves. They are the ones who clean, who cook. And there are people who pride themselves saying, I don't clean, I don't cook. Pride. We'll have to reincarnate a million times to learn to love, to clean, to cook, to do manual labor. This is not a thing for slaves. It's for the intelligent mind. It's for the healthy mind, the healthy body. So he says gluttony causes circulatory disasters. How many people are marching as we speak towards circulatory diseases? Because they eat more than the body can handle, or they eat things that the body cannot handle, sugary stuff. It's about self-love, respect for God, and that's something we need to teach our children every day. God gave you the body, it's under your care. Are you taking care of it? When a child bumps, falls out of the blue, we say, did you say sorry to the physical body? Because the physical body is not us, it's with us. Because we're going to go on. The physical body is going to describe, it's going to recycle in nature. But we can't abuse it. But we do. So André Luiz is giving us examples of things that we do, like lack of hygiene causing infections, several different types. Thanks to the pandemic, we're much better now, right? Regarding hygiene, there's not too much bath, too much washing the hands. There's always little of it. So it's good to do it. Drug addictions that causes nervous imbalances. There are people who are adoring the story of the decriminalization of marijuana. They don't understand that they are creating a mental illness pandemic if we don't have it enough already. And various excessive activities causing exhaustion. Not about excessive activities on the good, but like partying all night long. People who play video games, which is so common nowadays. Adults, teenagers, even younger children play all night long. Watching porn. That creates the exhaustion of our vitality, which is all of this suicide. So André Luiz is going to say the general rule, the deep root of our illnesses is in the perispirit. Well, Emmanuel is saying the same. This is the spiritist science. So one. But how do we predispose ourselves to illnesses? So the dynamics of illness formation happen like this. When we make a grave mistake, and remember that grave mistake, those memories that are recorded forever in our spiritual body, they vibrate and create what André Luiz says, a zone of remorse in our perispirit, creating a nodule of vibratory disturbance. How do we rid ourselves of that? A new reincarnation will be needed. That nodule of disturbance in the injured organs will predispose us to illnesses, but it's not a fate, like, oh, well, I'll be sick. It depends. And that's when our free will, our choices, our environment help us either activate it or not. So, first, we need to manage our remorse. Says André Luiz, without unburden and correction, as means to decompression of repentance, the mind creates a zone of remorse. So we need therapy. We need to edit how we perceive the things we've done before we discarnate. to allow the flushing of those memories. Okay? We're going to stop here for a second to talk a little bit more about this, which is vital for all of us. It's vital. We're talking here about either going for the compliance of God's laws, the laws of love, or not. So we need to teach our children from the get-go. You need to make choices that you're never going to regret because everything is in your perispirit. And if you regret, you're going to form guilt. And that zone of remorse going to predispose you to illnesses. You don't want that, right? And if it's not in this life, it's in the next life. Vanessa, how can we prevent that this predisposition turns into illness? Is it possible? Yes. There are two pathways. And at the end of chapter 19, part 2 of Evolution into Worlds, Andre Lewis explains. He says, either we comply with the laws of love and learn to love our God, love ourselves, and love people in our lives, or we're going to merit the expanding of that nodule of vibration that is disturbing to be lighter, more harmonized. But we won't be able to forget it forever. Some people say, I don't want to remember about that mistake. You do. You want to look at it, you want to organize it, archive it, and bless it, like Sister Sheila says. I bless that past. I understand that mistake. I didn't know any better. Remember Jesus saying, how do we forgive ourselves? Go to the Spiritist Society of Virginia's website, ssvirginia.org. There's a tab named COVID-19 Spiritual Kit. When you click there, there is a visualization on self-forgiveness. Mentor Joseph gave it to us in 2006. 14 years later, it's so needed. We need to learn how to address this self-forgiveness, archiving these memories that are not good. Don't put it aside because it's there. Let's organize it, manage it, and focus on doing the good, fulfilling our duties before God, and spreading the good wherever we are, caring for people, serving people, practicing altruism. And thus, we're going to harmonize ourselves and dissolve these nodules of disturbance in the living waters of love. Isn't that what Jesus said? So in the next 24 hours, you and I are being invited to drink this living water of the Christ, to dissolve these zones of remorse from the past and the present, while we are doing the good. So we're going to repeat to ourselves, I was born to learn to do the good and to love and to serve. I was born to learn to do the good, to love and to serve. I was born to learn the good, to love and to serve. In these affirmations, we're going to focus and be attentive to self-forgiveness and the freedom of choosing the good, the general good. We thank you, dear friends, for being with us in another question and answer of this phenomenal book, Laws of Love by Emmanuel. We wish you many blessings, and until tomorrow, God willing.